60 seconds. That's how long the doctor told someone in the hallway that it would take. I wasn't supposed to hear it, but sound travels differently when your body is shutting down. Everything gets quieter and louder at the same time, like the world is pressing its mouth against your ear to whisper one final secret. I heard the clock on the wall. I heard the air conditioning humming through the vent. I heard someone crying in a room I couldn't see. And in those last dissolving seconds, a parade of faces moved through my mind, and I realized with a horror so total it felt holy, that I had never said the right thing to any of them. Not once. Not to the ones who mattered most. If you had one more minute with every person you've ever loved, what would you say? I know the answer now. I know it the way you know the temperature of fire after you've already been burned. But to understand what I would say, and why it took me dying to find the words, you have to understand how I lost the language of love in the first place. I grew up in a house where words were weapons or commands. Again. Faster. You missed the bridge? Do it again. My father spoke to us the way a foreman speaks to a factory floor. There was efficiency in his voice, precision, but never warmth. Never the soft, useless, beautiful words that families are supposed to waste on each other. Words like, I'm proud of you, or how are you feeling, or even just good morning, spoken slowly, without an agenda attached to it. We didn't waste words in that house. Every sentence had a function. Every conversation ended with an assignment. My mother tried. Lord, she tried. Catherine would catch me in the hallway between rehearsals and cup my face in her hands, and her palms smelled like flour and dish soap, and she would look at me with those brown eyes that carried 1,000 things she couldn't say in front of my father. But even she had learned to speak in shorthand. A squeeze of the hand, a plate of food left outside my bedroom door, a hymn hummed under her breath while she folded laundry. Her love was fluent, but it was silent, and I learned from both of them. I learned that love is something you perform, not something you say. That lesson followed me into every relationship I ever had, every single one. There's a night I need to tell you about, a night that I've carried with me like a stone in my chest for decades. It was 1984, the Victory Tour. We were in Dallas, and the show had been electric. 70,000 people screaming so loud the stage vibrated beneath my shoes. Afterwards, in the dressing room, my brothers were laughing and toweling off sweat, and someone had ordered pizza that was getting cold on a folding table. And Jermaine looked at me, still breathing hard from the show, and he said something I almost missed. He said, "That was beautiful tonight, Mike. You were really beautiful up there." It wasn't a grand statement. It wasn't rehearsed. It was just true. A brother telling another brother that he saw him, that what he did was beautiful. And I opened my mouth to respond, and nothing came out. Not because I was tired, not because I didn't hear him, because I didn't have the software for it. I didn't know how to receive a compliment that wasn't about sales numbers or chart positions. I didn't know how to respond to love that was just love. No function, no assignment, just a warm thing handed to me freely. I think I said thanks and looked away, and Jermaine went back to his pizza, and the moment evaporated like breath on a cold window. But I have thought about that moment 10,000 times since. 10,000, because thanks wasn't the right word. The right word was, I see you too. The right words were, you taught me how to harmonize when I was 5 years old, and you didn't have to do that, and I have never forgotten it. And every time I sing, I can still feel your voice underneath mine, holding me up. That's what I should have said, but I didn't have the vocabulary for it. My mouth had been trained for lyrics, not for truth. And here's the thing nobody tells you about fame. It makes the problem worse. When you're the most famous person in the room, in the building, in the city, people stop expecting you to be human. They stop expecting you to say, I love you, or I'm sorry, or I'm scared. They expect you to perform, always, even in private, even in the quiet moments when the lights are off and you're just a man standing barefoot on cold tile, trying to remember what your real face looks like underneath all the versions of yourself you've built for the world. I performed love. I performed it brilliantly. I wrote songs about it that made millions of people weep. I held babies for cameras. I hugged fans who were sobbing. I gave speeches about healing the world, and I meant every word. But the specific people in my life, the ones who slept under the same roof, the ones who shared my blood, those people got the leftover version of me, the scraped out version, the version that had already given everything to the stage and had nothing left but silence and distance and that empty word. Thanks. There's something even deeper I need to tell you now, something I've been circling around. My children, Prince, Paris, blanket. The three miraculous reasons my heart kept beating long after the rest of me wanted to stop. I loved them with a ferocity that frightened me. I loved them in a way that made my whole body ache, the way your arms ache after carrying something precious for too long. You're exhausted, but you will not put it down. You will not put it down. But even with them, even with these three perfect souls that I had been given despite deserving nothing, I struggled to find the words. I could hold them. I could build a world for them, a world of books and laughter and animals and blanket forts and movie nights where we ate too much popcorn and nobody told them to stop. I could give them the childhood I never had. But when it came to sitting across from my son and saying, I am afraid. I am afraid I am failing you. I am afraid that one day you will read the things they wrote about me and you will wonder if any of it was true. I couldn't do it. The words turned to cement in my throat every time. There was a night, late 2008. I was in a rented house that didn't feel like home because nowhere felt like home anymore. Paris was 7. She had a nightmare and came into my room dragging a stuffed giraffe that was almost as tall as she was. She crawled into bed next to me, and her feet were cold against my legs, and her hair smelled like the lavender shampoo she insisted on using, even though it made her eyes sting, and she pressed her face into my shoulder and said, Daddy, are you happy? 7 years old, and she could feel it. She could feel the static in me, the noise, the relentless hum of a mind that wouldn't stop racing, even at 2 a.m. with a child in my arms. She could feel that I was somewhere else, that some part of me was always somewhere else. I said, Of course I'm happy, baby. I have you. And that was true, but it wasn't the whole truth. The whole truth was, no, I am not happy. I am terrified. I am drowning in something I can't name, and I don't want you to save me because that's not your job. You are 7 years old, and your only job is to be 7 years old. But I need you to know that when I am quiet, it is not because I don't love you. It is because I love you so much that the words get jammed in the doorway, trying to get out all at once. That's what I should have said. That's what 1 more minute would have been for. If I had 1 more minute with my mother, I would hold her hands and say, You did enough, more than enough. You loved me in the only language the house allowed. And I heard every word, every hymn you hummed, every plate of food left outside my door. I heard it all. If I had 1 more minute with my father, I would sit across from him and look into his eyes and say, I forgive you, not because what you did was right, but because carrying this anger is heavier than anything you ever made me carry, and I'm tired. I need to put it down. If I had one more minute with my brothers, I would say what I couldn't say in that dressing room in Dallas. You were beautiful too, all of you, and I'm sorry I disappeared inside myself. I'm sorry I became so famous that you couldn't reach me anymore. That was never what I wanted. If I had one more minute with my children, I would get on my knees and look into their faces and say, I was not always happy, but you were always, always the reason I stayed. That realization that all the words I needed were simple and had been available to me my entire life. It didn't come to me on a stage or in a studio. It came to me in the silence after everything stopped. And from where I am now, I can see so many of you holding the same unspoken words in your chest like stones. So many of you waiting for the right moment, the perfect sentence, the grand gesture, and the minutes keep passing. I spent my life searching for the right frequency, a way to quiet the static long enough to hear my own heart. I wish I had known how to find that calm without the things that ultimately hurt me. There is something I want you to know about, a 12-minute audio called The Brain Song. It works with your mind's natural gamma waves to support what scientists call BDNF, nourishment for the brain. It may help quiet the noise long enough for you to hear what you actually need to say. To the people who are still here to hear it, consider it a gift from me to you. The link is in the description, but please, hear me now. Don't wait for the perfect words. The perfect words don't exist. I love you is clumsy. I'm sorry is incomplete. I'm scared is embarrassing. Say them anyway. Say them badly. Say them with a shaking voice and a pounding heart and tears running into the corners of your mouth. Say them at dinner. Say them in the car. Say them when it's awkward and weird and no one asked. Because one day, the minute will be over, and you will stand where I stand now, on the other side of everything, holding all the right words, with no one left to hear them. I see them sometimes, my children, not the way you see people, but the way light sees a window. I pass through the edges of their lives, and I feel their warmth, and I cannot touch them. I cannot sit on the edge of Paris's bed and say, I wasn't always happy, but you were always the reason I stayed. The words are finally free, and the room is empty. Don't let your room be empty. 1 minute, that's all it takes. 60 seconds of terrifying, imperfect, trembling honesty. You have that minute right now. Right now. It is sitting in your chest, waiting for you to open your mouth. I see a clock on a wall somewhere, always ticking, always moving, and beside it stands a man with his hand on his son's shoulder, leaning down, whispering something small and true and clumsy and brave. And the boy looks up, and the boy hears it, and the clock, for just a moment, goes quiet. I love you more. Goodbye for now.